Good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to thank all of our media partners for being here to make this press conference possible today. I'm Sheriff Wayne Davis of the Henry County Sheriff's Office, and joining me is Mr. Andrew Nestor, Commonwealth's attorney here in Henry County. As we get started, we need to be sure that everyone understands that due to the sensitive nature of this investigation and these cases, we will not be able to answer many of your questions after the conclusion of this press conference. This is due to the fact that we need to protect the integrity of this investigation and ensure that we are able to complete these multifaceted, complex investigations and ultimately build a successful prosecution. In addition, at the conclusion of the press conference, we will not be able to host individual interviews, so everything will be disclosed right here from the podium today. We stand before you to address significant developments in a homicide that's haunted a local family for far too long. And after a tireless investigation and relentless determination by our dedicated team, we're thankful to begin the legal process in an effort to bring justice to a victim and ultimately closure to their family. I'd like to recap that event. On September 21 of 2022, deputies from the Henry County Sheriff's Office responded to a home on Poplar Street in the Ridgeway community. Upon arrival, they located Brent Douglas Wagner inside of his home deceased. Mr. Wagner had died from multiple gunshot wounds. Upon our initial response in 2022, dozens of pieces of evidence were collected, interviews were conducted, and search warrants for digital evidence were executed. And for over the past 2.5 years, Sheriff's Office investigators have diligently looked into this homicide. During that time, we worked countless hours, conducted hundreds of interviews, and traveled to locations all across this Commonwealth in an effort to bring those who we believe are responsible for this senseless murder to justice. And as a result of this extensive and complex investigation and our great partnership with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, on Monday, May 19th, a Henry County grand jury issued multiple indictments on 3 individuals connected to this murder. Those individuals include Waylon Allen Cox Ingram, as pictured here. He's been charged with aggravated murder, murder for hire, conspiracy to commit murder. Patricia Cox Ingram, also charged with aggravated murder, murder for hire, conspiracy to commit murder. And John Antonio Fennell. Mr. Fennell is charged with aggravated murder, murder for hire, conspiracy to commit murder for hire, enter a dwelling at nighttime to commit murder, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and use of the firearm in commission of a felony. On Monday, May 19th of this week, investigators from the Sheriff's Office traveled to Virginia Beach, where John Antonio Fennell was taken into custody by a Virginia State Police tactical team. He is currently held in the Henry County Adult Detention Center without bond. Also on Monday, May 19th, Patricia Beth Cox Ingram, who was already incarcerated in Patrick County, Virginia, was served with her indictments. She is now currently held in the Henry County Adult Detention Center without bond. Waylon Allen Cox Ingram is currently incarcerated in the Virginia Department of Corrections facility on unrelated charges, and we expect these indictments to be served sometime next week on him. In addition to the homicide investigations, and concerning a totally separate investigation, the grand jury also indicted Waylon Allen Cox Ingram and Patricia Beth Cox Ingram on 4 offenses each related to a human trafficking investigation from January of 2022. On January the 10th of 2022, a female victim owed Deshaun Tucker of Pulaski, Virginia, a debt. In turn, Mr. Tucker owed an acquaintance, Waylon Cox, money. With the victim unable to pay Mr. Tucker, Tucker negotiated with Cox to trade 2 women, including the one who owed him money, to use in exchange for Tucker's debt. Tucker abducted the two women from a Food City store in Radford, Virginia, then transported them to a secluded location in Floyd County, where Tucker then handed the victims to Mr. and Mrs. Cox Ingram. On January the 11th, Henry County deputies responded to a 911 text for help call. They located the victims at a house on Sleeping Hills Farm Road here in Henry County. Those victims reported being abducted and repeatedly sexually assaulted by strangers to satisfy or work off a monetary debt. I'd like to note that in March of this year, Deshaun Tucker was convicted and sentenced in Radford, Virginia for his role in this heinous crime, and he is currently serving an active 30-year prison term. We would also like to inform you that the victim from this incident, that you've seen her picture earlier, has since passed away, and our condolences are with her family. This time, I need to extend my deepest thanks to my team. They worked so hard to make this possible. This includes our investigators, our deputies, our support staff, and everyone from the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. Without their dedication, we wouldn't be here bringing these individuals before you today. With that said, let this serve as a reminder that anyone who thinks that they can commit a crime and evade the consequences, this team does not rest. This team is second to none. We do not forget, and we will reach you no matter how much time passes. Our commitment here at the Henry County Sheriff's Office and the Commonwealth Attorney's Office to justice is absolutely unwavering. We will pursue leads until the truth comes out. We are resolute in our mission to ensure that those who cause harm are held accountable. This community deserves to feel safe, and we will do everything within our power to ensure that that happens. Justice may take time, but it is relentless, and those who are responsible will always be held accountable. Thank you.
Sheriff, have you ever seen anything like this in your career?
This is an agreement.
Isn't this like a list of characters that you've been dealing with before?
What we can say about that this time is these individuals do have previous convictions.
Drug convictions?
We're just going to say they have previous convictions here in Henry County. Again, we're trying to protect the prosecution in this case. We can't say a lot in the press conference.
So you can't say narcotics was involved in this, because we've seen, you know, the Ingram Cox family before.
Yes.
Correct.
Big time. I mean, like one of your big drug busts.
They have previous convictions here in Henry County.
Right. You sending a message to them too?
We're sending a message to any drug dealer or anyone who chooses to commit a violent crime in our community.
Can we get the Commonwealth attorneys to say that?
Yeah, if we'd like to.
I didn't come with any prepared remarks, but I'd like to thank the Sheriff's Office for their diligence. They have worked countless hours, as the Sheriff has said, and I'll echo some of the comments of the Sheriff. It may take time, but we will work hard, we will pursue justice, and we will do our best to bring justice and resolution to the victims of these cases.
One of the things I'd like to ask you is, we hear a lot of strong things about Sheriff Davis, and we understand he's up for some national awards coming soon. Do you like working with him? Do you think he's the best of the best?
Absolutely. Sheriff Davis is a wonderful colleague, a wonderful ally. Work alongside with him great. The team in our office works great with him. He is a great partner in law enforcement to have, along with all of our law enforcement partners, because we also work with Virginia State Police, we work with Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries. So yes, to answer your question, he is a solid man of integrity.
How complex is this investigation?
Very. That's one of the reasons we're very limited on the details that we can share at this time. Yes, ma'am.
Have you spoken with the victim's family, and what have they said about this?
The victim's family has been contacted. We're not in a position to speak on their behalf.
Human trafficking, this is kind of new to us, isn't it?
To bring justice and resolution to the victims of these cases.
Yeah, I mean, is this something new to us?
It's nothing new.
In Henry County?
It's been around for a long time. It's been around a long time, actually. But it does get a lot of attention now. And there are statutes on the books in the code, and if we find they've been violated, we will prosecute. Just here until recently, I think state police has set up a human trafficking task force and so forth to help with that. So when we are presented cases, we will prosecute. We've actually had human trafficking cases in Henry County before that weren't necessarily deemed human trafficking, but they were in fact what would be human
We're here in
trafficking.
the political world with the border and conspiracy theorists and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of in the headlines.
Can I have the sheriff give some safety tips for the local women to keep them safe, since this is becoming more and more of a problem?
We're not prepared to give any safety tips this time. We just remind everyone to remain vigilant. And social media is a big issue, so be cautious of who you contact on social media. Never go anywhere alone, but we're not going to go deeply into that right now.
You can't share the relationship that these individuals shared.
As far as the human trafficking case?
In any case?
As far as we're aware, the female victims had no relationship to the Cox family.
You mentioned that the two trafficking victims, they were taken in Bradford, in the Bradford area. Did you guys coordinate with the departments out there, and how was it like working with those other departments out there as well?
We've worked day in, day out with the agencies there in Radford and the other agencies involved in this. They've been a true blessing, helped us with this case. So without that interagency and networking, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Building off that, it seems like with both of these cases, there's been a lot of that. You mentioned going out to Virginia Beach, so it sounds like across the board, there's been a lot of cooperation across the state here.
Absolutely, and we're thankful to have a great working relationship with the Virginia State Police, Radford Police, the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and everyone involved in this that made this possible.
Any updates on the wars on drugs that you've been doing?
Not at this time.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you guys.
And there will be a email version coming out shortly.
Thank you.
For everyone.
Thank you. No? Yeah. I can do it. We need to put these pictures of that.
I meant to add it.
We'll try that.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
This gentleman's got a question.
For the human trafficking case, you mentioned that the victim unfortunately passed away. Did she pass away due to what was going on in the situation, or is it something completely separate?
That's a great question. I actually anticipated y'all to ask that earlier. She did not pass away in relation to what took place with her being trafficked. It was sometime afterwards.
Thank you.
Can I get one more picture of you up there?